Hello. Welcome once more to Weekends, a celebration of vulnerability and doing what we're afraid to suck at. If this is your first time, welcome. We have a few basic rules around here. Number one, we like to share our vulnerable victories. We don't make people feel bad for the results of the things that they do. Simply celebrate the fact that they're out there doing them. Number two, we don't compare ourselves to others. Comparison is the thief of joy. Around here, we celebrate that it takes bravery to get out there and try and suck at something. As Jake the dog, the world's greatest philosopher, once said, sucking at something is the first step towards getting really good at something. Welcome once more. I will be continuing my work on my dream of creating a comic book, which is a sort of sequential art form of photos and or pictures and text that tell a story, and for some reason is extremely associated with the superhero genre in particular, for a lot of reasons that only make sense if you study the history of the medium. Look at this. Look at this little gap of color. Bet you didn't even see it, but I did. I knew it was there. Here's a comment that's throwing me for a loop. Okay, one person asks, "So we gonna talk about it? Talk about what? What is it we're meant to be talking about? Whatever it is, probably not. But what is it? What are you referring to? Something that's bugging me also." Just, you come back to something a day later and you realize, like, oh, there's a lot of stuff I want to change. I want a power cord coming out of this microwave. So, boop. And something dark. Just because it makes it look just slightly less neat. You know? I might have to do a warm-up, Spidey. My wrist's feeling a little stiff. There we go-ish? No. Oh my God. And... okay. Oh my God, I'm losing it. I'm losing my mind. No. This is art. This is what art looks like. I also might have to go upstairs and turn on the air conditioning because it's way too hot in my basement for some reason. That'll do. For now. Did anyone else think Mildred meant power cord with an H? Yeah, no, we're gonna make this a heartrending ballad. Amir, thank you for the super chat. Realized yesterday, or I realized today, I was like, wait a minute. Did I turn super chats back on after the fundraiser? Every time I do a fundraiser, I always turn any type of monetization for myself off. I try to do, just so that I don't get any money, because if people are spending their money, obviously I want it to go to the fundraiser. And then I yesterday streamed without turning it back on. So really professional work I'm doing. And here's something that's also bugging me. His chin is the wrong shape in this panel. And I think I knew the whole time, and I chose inaction like a coward. That's the wrong color. Yeah, it's looking like a warm-up Spidey is going to be necessary today. I can feel it already. Hold on. He's not a child. He doesn't have a short chin like that. Sometimes you got to make a noise when you're trying... No, that one was good. Better. Not quite 100% perfect, but Tiny Donut, thank you for the super chat. First ever live, welcome Jenna, welcome. Thought Slime, sorry, I forgot you use they, them. Good news, Hero Squad, I don't. I use any/all, and in fact, they, them is my least favorite. I simply say any all without making that clarification because I really don't like when people shame other people for misgendering me and like act shitty to people in my name. So you have nothing to worry about. Does anybody have any vulnerable victories to share? This isn't the slime show. This is Weekends. We're celebrating vulnerability. Be vulnerable. I command you. I, not using any sort of authority or any sort of top-down hierarchical method, command you. What topics can we look forward to in future videos? We got a great Cringe Corner coming up. I'm not revealing the subject of the Cringe Corner ahead of time. You're just going to have to wait for that one. You should. This one is going to be one of the ones where it's Sophie presenting, and you will discover the topic along with me. After that, I'm working on a piece that I worry might be too much like me doing therapy for a video, where I talk about my own struggle with internalized fat phobia. But I don't know if I want that one. That one might take a bit more bacon, you know? It might be something that's like, this might be good art. I'm not sure it's socially responsible art. And it might take some time to you know, bake on that. But I have a backup idea for some things I can work on if that goes south. I'm all good. And I want to do a series on Scaredy Cats where I try to learn to appreciate giallo movies, which, if you don't know, it's a genre of Italian horror movies, largely from, I think, the 70s and 80s. Which they're kind of like pulpy crime thrillers where there's mystery elements. And I've historically never been able to get into them. And I just think it would be a fun exercise to try and stretch myself a little and learn to appreciate something that I've thus far failed to appreciate. I made my first YouTube video. I had so much fun. I'm halfway through a second script.
Flawless victory.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Love to hear it. Started to post my art on Instagram more. Specifically, I posted one particularly spicy gay piece.
Flawless.
We celebrate spicy gay pieces around here. Thumbs up in chat if you yourself are a spicy gay piece. Look at this. This looks so much better now, I think. I'm also gonna just oop. No, I want it closer. Hey, lots of thumbs up. So far, I've greatly enjoyed your YouTube content. I like that comment because it's almost implicitly a threat. So far, I've enjoyed it. Do not displease me. All right. Now we're gonna just move on to this. And suddenly the method of my madness will begin to make sense to those who doubted me. I think I'll have like a dark IKEA-style table, because that's what I have. So as a, just kind of, I don't know if poor is the right word, but certainly not well off type of guy, that's what he should have. Although, now that I've done that, that doesn't contrast well enough with this or the chair, so am a mild gay. Is that okay here? Or you can be any kind of level of spiciness and whatever level of sexual orientation that you so choose, as long as you do so with bravery and love in your heart. Now he's sitting at a little table. Look at this guy. Now, here's something I'm going to have to point out about Eclipse Studio Paint, okay? If I zoom out, it looks like there's anti-aliasing on this line, right? And you might think, this is why you don't use the fill tool. Like, a trained digital artist will look at that and go, you fucked up. This is why you don't use the fill tool. It creates these anti-aliasing things that create these little jaggies around the lines. This is, in fact, merely a visual glitch caused by vector lines in Clip Studio. If we zoom as far as we can in, we can see there's no anti-aliasing on these pixels, right? It is just a visual glitch. When we flatten the image for final submission, or like if I just flattened this layer right now, like or this panel right now, if I merge them, see, it goes away. Paper and a renewable resource. I mean, paper is a renewable resource, but it's not being produced sustainably. Around the handle on this is another good example, right? It looks like there's a bunch of anti-aliasing around it that looks terrible, and then when you zoom in, it just goes away. That's just a visual glitch in Clip Studio Pro. Trust me, I'm not that much of an amateur when it comes to digital art. I understand that. Some vulnerability. My therapist has been telling me to be less cruel to myself. Confronting the idea that I'm being cruel to myself has forced me to reflect on how that cruelty to myself contradicted my ethical beliefs / value that cruelty to people in the name of encouraging them to change and grow is counterproductive to encouraging or facilitating their growth and healing. I am much better able to extend compassion to others than to myself, and I'm not sure how to change that, but I'm trying. Well, let me, first of all,
Flawless victory.
is that too quiet, by the way? Can you hear when he says flawless victory? Secondly,
don't let your dreams be dreams. Make your dreams come true. Just do it.
I'm going to share with you a thing that a therapist told me in university that I have remembered ever since. It's one of the most helpful pieces of advice I've ever received in my life. I said that everyone tells me, everyone says these nice things about me, but I can tell that they're not true. And she said, okay, how do you know they're not true? And I said, well, people tell me I'm not stupid, but I know I'm stupid. And she says, okay, if you're not stupid, how is it that if you're stupid, how is it that you can tell better than everyone else? So one of the two things must be true, right? Either you have greater intuition than everyone else around you, something you are forced then to celebrate about yourself, or you don't have that intuition, and therefore what everyone else is saying about you, all the nice things that you're saying can't be true, have to be true. That's one of the I haven't stopped thinking about that ever since. Had to restart it 5 times, but I'm halfway through crocheting a strawberry pillow.
Flawless victory.
I'm hoping. Now I know what you meant is probably a pillow in the shape of a strawberry. But I'm really hoping what you meant was a pillow for strawberries. I choose to believe that that is the case. Oop. That when someone comes over and you got a strawberry that you're going to eat later and they're like, why is that strawberry on a little pillow? And you're like, shh, the strawberry's asleep. Don't wake the strawberry. Also, I've been thinking a lot. I've been thinking a lot about this sexy clown. Go ahead and I'm giving you a moment to clip that. And it occurs to me, she's got to have there's got to be a little dildo in the background made with balloons, right? That's just got to be a thing. It's just, how can you not? You know what? Probably gonna. I've missed previous episodes of Weekends, so this page is completely out of context to me. I promise you it's not. You're looking at it going, what the hell? Why does it appear that he's looking at clown pornography? I must have missed something. You haven't. This character is simply eating a frozen lasagna, alone, at night, enjoying a few too many beers. Maybe got a bit of a. I see I'm on the wrong panel. Maybe you got a bit of an unhealthy relationship with alcohol as a coping mechanism. That's not what I wanted. Not doing too hot. And at the end of the day, they eat their frozen lasagna, they watch their clown pornography, and they collapse in bed. I legit thought Milda was going to suggest that she should show more skin. No. No. First of all, I don't think clowns have skin, technically speaking. I don't want this to be another discussion about fat cells and stuff. I don't know clown biology, okay? I just, I'm pretty sure they don't have skin. It's a carapace of some kind. And now, this is why you should not do things the way that I've done them. Because now I have to hopefully copy and paste this into the last panel. Any changes I make in the background are just going to have to be like that. Oop. Okay, let's see if we can make this work. Okay. I'm noticing a problem. Do I know of Clowncore the band? I don't. I don't know most music. Yeah, he's a little higher up in this one, huh? Weird. Okay. Does he usually eat lasagna shirtless? Yeah. The way I think about it is that, like, he comes home, takes off his work clothes, and then just, like, rather than even putting on clothes, just, like, in his underwear, eats dinner. I'm imagining it's, like, 12:30 at night. Then he's up until, like, 3, looking at clown pornography on his phone. And then he just goes to sleep to do it all again the next day. Yeah, that's what I wanted. All right. Everyone should watch Reservation Dogs. Reservation Dogs is a great show. Nothing worse than splat red sauce in my 3 shirts. You know, this used to be a much bigger problem for me earlier in life. I feel like I haven't gotten a stain on my clothing from food in years. I don't know if I'm simply eating less sloppy food or I've gained greater eating dexterity. I don't know. Got to check the stats on that one. Okay, so she's got to be inside some sort of, like, big top, right? Like, that is way too bright. Way too saturated, rather. Ugh. Also, I don't know if... Yeah, I didn't color her neck. This is the problem with the character with actually white skin. Not like white as in Caucasian, but white as in all colors mixed into one. Also, did I color her teeth? No. See? I have level 3 eating dexterity, not gonna lie. Eating dexterity is my dump stat, I think. No, strength is my dump stat. I know myself well enough to know strength is my dump stat. No, you know what? I'm sorry. I can't half-ass this joke. I have to actually look at a D&D character sheet to see which of these characteristics I think I would have the least of. Strength, dex, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. Okay. Yeah, probably strength of those, I would think. I would think I have pretty high constitution. I can eat pretty spicy food. I don't get sick very often. When I do, I tend to heal pretty quickly. If I fall off my skateboard, no matter how badly I fuck up my entire situation, it's healed within at least a week. Wisdom, I have no way of knowing. I couldn't tell you if I am wise, and no one knows if they are wise. That is simply impossible to know. Dexterity, I would say I'm pretty low at in general. I have dyspraxia, so dexterity is something I very much struggle with. That being said, I'm moderately good at the Binding of Isaac, so that's got to count for something. Intelligence. I mean, I'm not saying that my intelligence is particularly high, but of these, it would probably be, I would rank that in my personal qualities. I'm more intelligent than I am strong or dexterous or constitution, hearty, I suppose. And then I would say my top characteristic would be charisma. Again, that's not to say that I have particularly high charisma, but that it is, of these qualities, the one I possess the most of. In my opinion. I don't know. How's the skating going anyways? I mean, like, it's all right. You know, I use it to get around. Dexterity covers both physical nimbleness as well as hand-eye coordination. Yeah, but I have neither, is the thing. Mimes and clowns are GFs. Being good at video games is defined by your dex stat, but I'm terrible at video games. I didn't say I was good at video games. All right, I gotta look up some circus tent. Okay. All right. All right, so if I boop. We're going to have a different color floor. Or rather, different shade for the floor. Now, we need polygon. How do I choose the number of vertices? Rectangle. Can I move the vertices after the fact is the question. If I go, I'm just learning how to use this tool. This is not reflective of. Do I have to use polyline? Looking like it. Okay, that's fine. Clown looks like she's in the back rooms. I'm not done. What have I? Mm-hmm. Why am I using the pencil tool when it is in fact the pen tool that was my intent to use this whole time? Okay. Trust me, there is a method to my madness. Many of you have doubted me in the past. You will live with shame for your words and your deeds. This is another color. You know what, actually? Yeah. No, you just draw it. You don't have to use tools for everything, you know? No more tools. You can't just rely on tools. Sometimes you gotta put in the elbow grease. I see. It should be bigger. Banging a con car would make it clussy cussy. Well, I get the clussy part. If you did it with an anthro wolf playing Among Us, would that make us a sussy wussy? I do want to kind of put you on a timeout for that, just because I feel like something has to be done. You know, I don't want to single you out. It's just like this cannot be allowed to continue. cool clown background coming together. Thank you. There has to be a line. Not sure if you crossed it yet, but if not, you are getting close. The line must be drawn. Yeah. That's Captain Jean-Luc Picard in the bad film Star Trek First Contact. Okay. Have I been watching the Harley Quinn show? I watched the first season, and it's just one of those things. I really liked it. I just haven't gotten back to it. No. Because of your stream, I had the courage to commission an artist on Twitter. This may not seem very difficult to some people, but I struggle with terrible social anxiety, and I'm proud of myself. Do not compare yourself to others. Comparison is the thief of joy.
Flawless victory.
Okay. Star Trek First Contact is the bomb. I agree, it should have bombed, but it didn't. It did quite well for some reason. What is the font here? Glory Hallelujah. It's the least terrible next-gen movie, which makes fans weirdly defend it. I don't think it's weird. Look, some people they just like it. You know? That's fine. I don't like it. I think it's bad. I think it's... I will agree with your assertion that it is the least bad of the next-gen movies. That's just because all the next-gen movies are real bad. Like, what is the second least bad? You know? Insurrection? Generations? Which of these would be the second least bad? Because we can all agree, I think we can all agree Nemesis is the worst. Almost forgot, not sure if it counts because I wasn't afraid to do it, but committed to the 10-mile buck trail yesterday and finished it. Of course that counts.
Flawless victory.
Going above and beyond, like, you need not actually literally be afraid, but like going above and beyond what you are certain that you're capable of and discovering a new horizon of your capabilities. If that is not in line with this project, then I don't know what is. Squeeze my tits, bozo daddy. I don't know. Is that a clown stock? Kind of want the speech balloon tail to be bigger. If there was a bit where they honk when squeezed, because like that seems like the next logical step. Oh, that is literally the punchline. You've literally, that is the punchline. Is as he's watching, you see the sound effect going honk honk, and that rather than reading as funny to him, it makes him horny. There we go. I think that's better. Hear me out, but honk instead of squeeze. No, I'm setting up a joke, right? She says, squeeze my tits, and then in the final panel, it's honk honk. And he hears a honk noise come out of a human breast, and well, not a human breast, but like a clown breast. And that makes him irreconcilably horny. And if you think I am just taking this was always my intent. You can go back and watch earlier VODs and see that this was always the punchline. Honk. No comma. Are clowns not Homo sapiens? I believe they're Homo bosus, are they not? Again, I don't know a lot about clowns. I'm not a biologist. So we agree that clowns aren't human then, right? Yeah, I mean, clowns are people, for sure, but they're not human. Humans don't hatch from eggs. Hey, oh man, that reminds me. Okay, I got some stories to tell y'all today. So I was out with my niece yesterday. We were babysitting my niece. She was staying with my in-laws who are quite old, and so sometimes they need a break. So we take her out and distract her, right? And we were walking around this big government building, like some legal building of some kind, and it was closed, right? So she's 5, and she's like, this is my palace. This is like where I live. And it's like this big ornate building. So she's just having a fun little imaginative day, right? And she's walking around, and like, we're like, oh, well, she wants to go inside, but you know, we don't want to just walk into like this fucking courthouse or whatever. But luckily, it's a Saturday, and so it's closed, and we don't have to worry about that. So we just tell her, like, oh, well, go try open the doors. And she can't because the doors are all locked. So great, okay. This fucking security guard, right? This, like, 6'3", 250-pound man sees us, right? I give him the universal, like, you know, hey, don't worry about it. You know, nothing going on. You know, he's inside. I give him like a, you know, hey, you know, we're just entertaining a 5-year-old. There's nothing going on here. You don't need to come out and talk to us. You know, one of these. And so he insists on like walking outside and like coming out to talk to us. And I'm like, hey, man, nothing going on here. It's just that this is her palace, right? This is the princess. This is her palace. And the guy's like, yeah, well, you know, if you're looking to do a tour, then you can do that on these days. And like, here's the times that they start. And so then her eyes light up, and she's like, we can go inside that day. It's like, oh, yeah. Like, hey, buddy, first of all, stay the fuck away from me and my family. Who the fuck are you? Secondly, this whole thing is premised on the fact that she gets to imagine that this big, beautiful building is a fantasy palace. If she actually goes inside and goes on a tour, she's fucking 5 years old. She doesn't care. She doesn't care about what the building actually is or the boring shit that goes on inside. So then the guy is like fucking following us around, right? This grown-ass man following us around. And it's like, what do you think is going to happen here, man? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that like this is our whole fucking scheme is that we case the joint and this 5-year-old is part of our crew? Like she's the one that like dips beneath the lasers and like does all the flips and shit to steal all the diamonds in your building? Like what the fuck do you think is going to happen? I was furious with this man, and I still am. I like Old Thought Slime. I am in no way cool enough to know why I should watch this. 2 cents. What do you have a very strange definition of cool. I don't know what you're talking about. I was so mad at this fucking guy. Can I get a, can this font be made bold? Yes, it can. Doesn't make a lot of difference, but okay. So then we're walking around and it's late and it's getting dark and she's 5 years old. She's got a fucking bedtime. We got to get her in the house, right? We got to get her. She's having so much fun. She's having a great time. I can't help it. We're just extremely fun aunts and uncles. You know, who wouldn't want to keep hanging out, having a blast? I get it. Here's the thing. You got to go inside at some point. There's got to be a bedtime. Otherwise, you're going to be tired in the morning, right? So we're trying to convince her to go back to my in-laws' apartment. And she's like, well, why would we want to go back? And I said, well, it's going to be dark, you know. And she's like, I don't care if it's dark. And I said, okay, that's fine. But, you know, at night, the gooblers come out, right? Because all night we've been doing like whimsical fantasy stuff. So I just said, yeah, there's going to be gooblers. If you're okay with the gooblers, then that's fine. And she's like, what's a goobler? And I immediately I realized I had fucked up. And I said, well, gooblers, they run around and they go gooble, gooble, gooble. And they're not scary. I want to stress that to you. They're not scary. They just run around and they're quite annoying and they go gooble, gooble, gooble. And my wife adds, yeah, and they do it so loud it gives you a headache. And I thought I had narrowly avoided disaster, right? Because like, you know when you say something to a kid and they're like, what? And they start to get like scared, right? And so she's like, you know, I thought I had caught it, and I was like, gooblers aren't scary. Gooblers are they're just annoying. So I thought that was that. And later, as we're walking back, she's like, what happens if the gooblers come? And I said, oh, don't worry about gooblers. Don't worry about them. You know, gooblers are just gonna come up. They're gonna go gooble, 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 but they'll leave us alone. And she's like, what do they look like? And so I said, they look like big chickens, you know? Because I thought a big chicken, that's not going to scare anybody. Just a big chicken. What's the least threatening thing I could think of? A big chicken, right? So she's like, I don't want them to come up to me and go gooble, 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 because I don't want to get a headache. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll let them know. I'll let the gooblers know not to come and gooble at you. And she's just like, But what if we don't get inside in time and they come and google us? And I was like, oh no. I fucked up so bad. So I had to tell her there's no such thing as gooblers. It's but a whimsical fantasy I concocted to entertain you. Yeah. You got to be careful with that stuff, you know? I think I'm going to put an exclamation mark. That comes a little outside of the... I kind of like that. And that's the story of the Gooblers. Because you got, like, things that are going to scare kids, you never can predict it. It's just like, I remember one time we were taking her out for a walk in, like, it's like one of those little, it's like a big plastic car that a kid sits in, and it's got like a handle on the back, you know, one of those things, so that you can push them around. She was like maybe 3 at the time. And the sun was going down and we were casting long shadows, and she's like, look how long our shadows are. And I said, Nadine, look. And I did the thing where you do like the dog, and I went like, roar, 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 roar. Because I knew she liked dogs. And then immediately she was like, I want to go home. I want to go home. I don't like this. I was like, oh boy. I did not think that was going to have this effect on you. Recently discovered Thought Slime. Sometimes Lark never spoke up until now. Glad you exist for a myriad of reasons. Just putting some ripples of gratitude out there. Oh, thank you, Scatterbrain Wordy. Any explicable stuff you can remember being scared of as a kid? Yeah, there's lots of stuff I can explain that I was scared of. I think the inexplicable stuff is way funnier. Like, I was scared of spiders, zombies. I was terrified of as a kid. Santa is just a step away from Satan, and I don't think it's coincidence. It is coincidence. It's a... it's Saint Nicholas, right? Now, unless you think and you're one of those types that's like, saints are close to Satan, because Catholics are evil. I mean, look, we can all agree that Catholics are evil, but you know, I definitely believe that for a different reason. Well, the Catholic Church is evil. Random Catholics aren't. I should clarify. I was scared of dandelions because I had a dream a bunch of them grew out of my body. Oh, shit. That's kind of legit, though. That is a scary-ass dream. You know, like those little styrofoam mannequins that, like, around Halloween, like, it's what they... What? It's around Halloween and stuff. It's, like, what they display masks on or they put wigs on at places. You know those things? Those used to scare me as a kid because I had a bad dream about them. Oh no. Oh no. Now we gotta go. I accidentally merged the honk honk layer with the lines, and then I couldn't edit the lines, so I had to go back and fix that real quick. Merge the wrong layers. I was afraid of bees because I got stung directly in the eye as a small child. I got stung in the eye again, and it made my fear go away. What the fuck were you doing to these bees? Did you grow up on a bee farm of some kind? Why were bees so antagonized at your eyes? I don't mean to victim blame here, but it's just like, what's happening? And now the layer is called Hong Kong instead of C2 flats. Bees in my eyes, Johnson. Yeah. Wasp landed on my nose and I could see its little face. I was still enough not to get stung by it, but it scared me shitless. Seeing its little face, I would think if anything that would humanize it. That's why in movies they never show a wasp's face. So you can think of them as monsters. You know? Luke Skywalker can just shoot as many wasps as he wants. I want to see motion lines on the other hand. He's not presently jerking off. I imagine him with just his arm kind of resting, you know, like this. I understand it takes 2 stings for allergies to kick in. That's probably not a hard and fast rule. Wasps have scary faces. Okay. I've never seen a wasp's face. And finally, the coup de grace. Draw one of these. Not the frame tool, but the shapes tool. And now we get the funnest part of the whole process, which is coming up with the title of this clown porn video. And I'm thinking, Clown Babe Real gets cream pied literal. Because clowns, cream pies, it's a clown gag. And I think it should, you know how, and then there should be how far into the video is he? That's a good question. I hadn't even thought about like the progress bar that's a place for a, like he's almost at the end of it, implying that he's been watching it for a very long time. I quickly am seeing the problem here. Let me refer only to editing layer. Boop. You're gonna need some more color margin, baby. Come on. We're all friends here. Clip Studio. Clip Studio. Clip. Okay, all right. You gonna do me like this? Oop. Why are you doing this? This is throwing me for a loop because I've heard this song in a bunch of YouTube shorts. This one guy uses this song over and over. So I'm like, what, is he doing a thing? In fact, I should check and make sure I'm still on Stream Beats. I'm not. I am. Good. Good, good, good. Okay, here's how we'll do this. Wasps do have an important role in the ecosystem. They just look more horrifying and can sting more. Hey, you want to hear something else that's going to piss you off about wasps? Do Did you know that they're not at all related to bees? They're closer to ants than they are to bees. And the only reason they look like bees is because they evolved to look like bees so that they could more easily get inside beehives and kill bees. Oop. And then you just have a little pause symbol over here. Did you know that inside of every fig is a dead wasp? And inside every dream, a rainbow? That's the Celeste soundtrack. That's not Stream Beats. You can't trick me. Checkmate, anti-waspers. I worry that at any reasonable size, you won't be able to read the text on Clown Babe Real Gets Cream Pied literally. Oop. All right. I think this tells the joke appropriately. Comes home, does his thing. Squeeze my tits, bozo daddy. And then honk honk. If you can't read it when it's the same size as the dialogue, then you've got a problem. Well, the dialogue is black on white, which I feel has like the best contrast. You know, this is white on black, but the black isn't 100% black. It's you know, the opacity is lower so that the way that it looks like on a phone UI. And to that point also, I would like to make... No, I just want the... actual text to be a bit bigger. Low poly rap models give me life. That whole clown babe gets big topped. I think big top clown babe gets cream pie. Literally. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right, Monoculus Rex Murum. Clown babe. Big top. She has balloons in her suit. I don't know if the balloon dildo maybe no longer scans at a glance, but I think it's a funny little background joke. Big top channel watermark. What if we change... Okay, hear me out. Chat, hear me out. What if we change the dialogue from squeeze my tits bozo daddy to squeeze my tits something else, and then the porn logo is bang bozos? What? He's got to get Cirque du Soleil. That's such. You've paid $5 to give me genuine psychic damage. Well, there, fella, that's an actual fetish. 100% clowns are an actual fetish. I know balloons are probably a bigger one, but like bozo bros, bang brozos. I think bang bozos. I don't know how to, I don't know quite how to parse this one out in my head, but like blozo job, is that anything? I have a question for you all. Blozo job, is that anything? Is blozo job anything? Do you know? I have to admit, I don't get the joke. What joke? What joke are you not getting? Is it bang bozos? It's because there's a popular porn channel called Bang Bros, who I'm pretty sure are like deeply unethical. But I think I don't know if Bang Bros are the same people that did Bang Bus. I know there was like a big controversy about the Bang Bus. I don't know a lot about porn politics, to be honest. I mean, all those companies are? Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's fair to say that all of them are. I think there's a lot of independent sex workers that produce plenty. You can buy plenty of ethical pornography out there. It's the key question is, are you putting money in the hands of the actual people making it, or in the hands of like the grubby little producers or whatever fucking parasites come along? Joker bros. Blow joke. I don't know. Bang Bus and Girls Gone Wild are largely considered to be scummos even by the standards of the industry. Well, I mean, Girls Gone Wild is literally like basically just filming people without their permission. Video on ethical porn definitely would be demonetized. We're in Hell already did one that I think is better than what I would produce. Ollie seeing the Great Count Porkliakchi. Doctor, I'm too horny. Nothing seems to satisfy me. Though the answer's simple. You must fuck the great clown Porkliacci. But doctor, I am Porkliacci. Bangliacci? I think Porkliacci is funnier, personally. It's a matter of taste. Or tastelessness, in this case, perhaps. All right. It's got to be Bang Bozos. I'm sorry. Now, I'm thinking this logo, the O's have to be replaced with clown noses, right? Let's just simplify all of this a little bit. Merge selected layers. This is... Okay, the lines are still going. Good. Good. That's exactly what I wanted. Maybe a clown nose and a balloon. What if one of these are clown... Can't believe how many people think Rorschach is a role model. Of course he is. He stinks. He stinks bad, and he hates women. What more do you want? That's basically Andrew Tate. Smelly person obsessed with violence who hates women. That's Andrew Tate is Rorschach. I can't believe I've never put this together before. Who honks the honkers? Who goobles the gooblers? That's the real question. Clown noses or shoes? Call me Porkliacci because I've been going bonkers on the honkers. The line must be drawn somewhere. I am absolutely adding, for the next stream, the line must be drawn here to the soundboard. Picard version or the Quark version? Picard. I don't respect Quark. Has anyone said panty-wise yet? No. And no one will. Okay, now we need a replacement for Bozo Daddy. Pennywise. Ronald McDonald? This is surprisingly difficult. There's not enough famous clowns, is a sentence I never thought I would say. Too many of them also are scary clowns. And I think that someone who's truly into clown porn would want classic clowns. Have you ever watched the American Giallo movie Looker? No, but were you here earlier for my discussion about how I was going to do a series where I was trying to understand Giallo, a genre that I've typically not had a great deal of appreciation for? Ronald McDaddy, maybe. Ronald McDonald is a clown? Yeah, but it's like... Horley Quim? Nah. No, I think we any superhero-related clowns, I think we should put aside. Simply because this is superhero comic and I don't want to get into that, you know? Stepmime. Stepmime gets stuck in the lion cage. Looks like I'm gonna have to plug in my headphones. Why? Why don't you want people to hear what you're listening to? There's a big divide in the clown porn community between people who like wholesome clowns and people who prefer scary ones. Yeah. Yeah. Pierrot? Is that something with Pierrot? Is Pogo too dark? Pogo's absolutely too dark. Although, you know, like, let me take a ride on your pogo stick maybe later. Maybe that'll be a different joke. Strongman? No, it's not circus porn. We're not here for a circus porn. We're here for clown porn specifically. What was wrong with Porkliachi? We're not using... Oh, a joke like that you don't use right away. A joke like that you sit on. Clown porn exists. It's the first time I've heard of this. All porn exists. I know who Pierrot is. I don't know how to make it into a sex thing. A joke like that you sit on as if it were a birthday cake? Exactly. All right, I'm just gonna... Famous clowns. So many of these are scary. Is Patch Adams too dark of a reference? I don't think so, but like, how do we make that into a sex thing? Is the question. Joseph Grimaldi. Grok. I mean, that one would be easy in a different sentence. Suck my grok. Is Clown Daddy too basic? Yes, in my opinion. Oleg Popov. See, again, Popov on me, you know. That would be easy. Emmett Kelly, got nothing. Bozo, we've already used. Ronald McDonald, I don't know. Krusty. Now, Krusty maybe we can work with. I don't know. John Wayne Gacy? No, thank you. Pennywise? No. Killer Clowns? Really? You're putting the Killer Clowns from Outer Space on the list of the most famous clowns? Okay. Clown words. Clown-related words. Okay, here we go. Jester, fool, Emmett Kelly, circus, comedy, antic, pantomime, wig, buffoon, harlequinade, whiteface, Okay. What if she said, squeeze my jugglers? Would that be enough? Could she? Snatch Adams. Who suggested Snatch Adams first? Who suggested Snatch Adams? Who was that? Are you the first person? This content, were you the person that came up with Snatch Adams? If so, may I please use it? Snatch Adams, though. Jenna J. Dell said it before that. Who said it first? Who said it first? Same, I also like Snatch Adams. Snatch Adams is good. Who said it first? I like Snatch Adams more than I should. Snatch Adams did say... Oh, so this content, it looks like, did say it first. Sideshow Knob is also quite good. Cock Media Del Hard Day, that's also good. Okay, it looks like this content, may I please use Snatch Adams? Please do, thank you. Why not? Why do you not type? Now, I have to look up whether it's spelled with two Ds. Double Ds, one might say. It's 1D. Too bad. Squeeze my tits, Snatch Adams. All right. Is it clear? Is it clear enough that the logo is made of cum? I know it's the problem with making this look too much like cum is that it does start to resemble my own logo, which makes me ask uncomfortable questions about myself. What if we change this color to something a bit darker? And I'm also thinking I'm not super thrilled with green. It's not a great, like, what if it was like a bluish, like a more fun color like this. And then we'd have to change the stripes on the top of the tent, obviously, to we'll have to and then we change maybe we leave the balloon so it's just like a very subtle balloon back there. Very subtle. It's a very subtle balloon dildo in the background. I think it's got to be Big Top Babe gets cream pied, literally. It's too late. We've already rasterized the text. Did I see that Caleb Mop and Abuse article? Yeah, that's pretty grim, right? It's not shocking that someone who is so clearly trying to establish power for themselves would abuse it in such a way. And my heart goes out to the people that he hurt. I think that it's the type of situation where I would hope that people that trusted him or people that had faith in him have cause to reevaluate whether that is a wise course of action and whether that is the type of person they want to, associate with, or whether it could be said that like his. I'm not sure you can meaningfully. I was in the wrong layer there. Meaningfully extract that form of abuse from his beliefs. I believe that the way that he set up his organization and the way that he made himself the central figure, the sole charismatic, in heavy air quotes, because he's an extremely uncharismatic person, leader of a movement, and how that is like tied into a lot of how he believes movements should function, should give people pause to think, is this the type of power we want to hand over to individual people? And my worry is that it becomes individualized, that this is a problem, that there are predators like Moppin out there who will use such power to hurt people. And as long as we avoid those people being in charge of organizations like the one that he made, then we can avoid the problem. And I don't think that is the case. I think that, if you create not to take agency away from him or suggest that he doesn't bear responsibility, but that people like him create those types of situations to gain access to vulnerable people. If you turn it blue, it makes it look like as if she is inside out now. What? I think that's maybe you. That's not. So for those that don't know, and I'm not going to get into the details, many people came forward with allegations that Caleb Maupin basically coerced them into sex acts. Specifically, it's all spanking. He's super into spanking, and he had like uncomfortable conversations with people where he like just brought it up and like kind of gradually like frog in a pot turned up the temperature until like, you know, they didn't realize they were in a sexual relationship. And just among a series of other horrifying allegations, which is all stuff that we already knew about him, right? Like the fact that he makes people dependent on him. He basically makes people like cut off like support outside of his group. All these cult tactics, right? Like he, one of the people loses their job and he's like, "Don't worry, we'll take care of you." And his version of taking care of this person was to basically have them do more work for him unpaid. And it was. He coerced the person into going to, I think it was Nicaragua, one of the trips that he took, like made someone come along with them who didn't want to. And like, so now they're in a foreign country and they basically, you know, are at his mercy. It's all pretty horrifying. And by the way, he has stepped down as the leader of the CPI, but private Discord messages have been leaked where he talks about his intent to return. And his strategy seems to be not to acknowledge any of the accusations, to seek help for his sex addiction, and to then, if people are comfortable with it, he'll come back in whatever capacity they allow him to. And I think that's a kind of a bullshit response for a lot of reasons, because number one, sex addiction doesn't turn you into a predator. It's an entirely separate issue. Look, if the man struggles with sex addiction, that's one thing. I'm not going to judge him for that. That doesn't explain or excuse any of his behavior, and it doesn't make anything right. You know, yeah. I hate that people like him turn the idea of sex addiction into a joke. Yeah. Yeah. It's the first time I think that he has gone from like a figure of, he's just someone that I love making fun of, but I struggle to, like, I don't want to make this a joke. This is not funny that he did this, you know? People were hurt. And I think that there's a certain level of distance you need to keep from that. That being said, you know, I'm going to keep making fun of the man. Fuck that guy. Just absolute trash human being. And like, yeah. Yeah, I wish I knew what to say to get the people that he victimizes, or the people he will victimize in the future, to understand how deeply unserious and how deeply predatory he is. But there's just no there. I can't control it, right? I can't fix it. It's just he's out there. He's going to do these things, and I can try to warn people, but ultimately, you know, can't fix it. Why do these people always turn out to be sex predators? I think the relationship is inverted. I think it has more to do with the fact that the way that he set up his organization is directly to put himself in the center, to make himself the capstone of the whole operation, so that every decision funnels through him, that he has all of the power and all of the privilege that comes along with that. And that isn't the type of thing that a person seeks out with good intention. If someone creates an organization where they place themselves in a position of unchecked power, it is not simply that it's likely that they will abuse it. It's that the only reason to do that is to abuse it. A person who has no intention of abusing power would never put themselves in that position. It is exclusively sought out by people that will do things like this. And it is kind of just this inevitable cycle, right? Because, like, you can kind of see it in the way that he behaves, the way that he speaks with this utter certainty about everything, to make himself like the arbiter of what is right and what is wrong, which things are real knowledge and which things are CIA lies. You know, it's all his decision. It's all at his discretion. And yeah. Also that premarital sex tweet. But that's always the case, right? People who have this attitude of sex being this shameful, awful thing are always expressing their own internalized shame about the things that they do, right? If you have a healthy attitude towards sex, I'm not saying that like everyone who doesn't like sex is inherently predatory. What I am saying is that everyone who attempts to prevent other people from enjoying mutually consenting adult sex is there's something that should set off alarm bells in your head. When that happens, you should look side-eyed at that person because something's up. And that's all I'll say on the subject. Because again, my role towards Caleb has always been to make fun of him. And I don't think it's really appropriate for me to like speak up in this circumstance. My voice should not be centered here, right? This isn't about me. This is about people that Caleb hurt. And they should be the ones that dictate how the narrative is formed around it. I'm always reminded of the anti-LGBTQ Texas Reverend Ted Haggard, who was caught having sex with male prostitutes on cocaine that was heavily impacted by he was impacted by homosexuality. It's not impacted by homosexuality. He's impacted by the cognitive dissonance of trying to moralize against his own internal sexual orientation. You can be gay without being a homophobe. I think it's pretty clear. It's not a matter of it's a matter of like the problem is the homophobia, and it particularly affects people who have not yet come to terms with their internal expression of sexuality. can be gay without being a homophobe. Fucking legend 2022. I don't care if I'm brave to say it. Plenty of gay people are not homophobes. I think this page is done for now. I will go back and add some lighting effects at some point. I haven't really done any shading or lighting for either page yet, but like it is crucial, I think, for this page that like he's kind of in the dark, and like the microwave is casting a glow on him, and then the phone is casting a glow on him in this panel. I think that is crucial for the joke to land. And we will do that at some point. But like the first page also has no shading, right? Like it kind of seems like it does sometimes just because but like, yeah. I wonder how much of the vocal Puritan thing for some people is to make sex dirty so that they can hold it over the head of people who they talk into sexual acts. Yeah, I mean, you think of like when has referred to sex as something shameful that you should bear in silence. It's like, what reason would one have, hypothetically, for wanting no one to ever discuss sexuality? Because what type of things are you afraid that people might discover if they discuss it amongst their peers, you know? I think it says a lot, but I think that's a really good point that, yeah, if you make it something that is taboo and something you cannot discuss, then no one can seek help. No one can go to their peers and say, hey, this is happening to me. I don't know what to do about it. You know? It's a powerful tool for a certain type of predatory asshole. How old were you when you discussed your sexuality and gender with a parent? As I'm very pan, but I never told my dad, and I still feel I can't tell my mom as she's in her 70s now. I've never discussed either with a parent. I mean, I've discussed sex. Like, you know, my mom would embarrassingly tell me, you know, anytime I went somewhere where there was going to be girls, she'd be like, you know, if you're going to have sex, wear protection. And I go, Mom, but like, that's actually good parenting. But like, yeah, I've never felt the need to discuss either with my parents up until this point. Ugh. I think I would like there's got to be something in the background of these panels. He's got to have like some kind of man-child poster with thumbtacks, you know? Actually, no. We'll draw it first in this one because he's lower down. So no, that doesn't make any sense. Goes in this one first. I'm thinking no, not pencil, pen. Okay. All right. Beep, beep. I was going to say that one Scarface poster. I don't think he's that kind of guy. What do you think or hope will happen to Alex Jones? Well, I hope that he loses all his fucking money and gets deplatformed. What I think will happen, he'll probably lose a significant amount of money and then bounce back. Find some bigger grift. Every single guy I bought weed off of in high school had that Scarface poster. Yeah, because they're cool. They're cool drug dealers, just like Scarface, a character you're meant to think, what a cool guy. What a cool guy whose life I want to live. Fucking love this. This is so good. And he's just got little tags. Got to make those noises. That's called a drawing noise. All artists do them. Too saturated. Looking at clown porn while having a Batman poster, some nice irony there. That's a good point. Does Batman disapprove of the clown porn, or is he pretending to look disapproving so that he can get a look? The world may never know. It's just a poster. It don't got feelings. It don't change expression. Also, this isn't Batman. It's a completely unrelated character who happens to bear a passing resemblance to a certain copyrighted figure, you know? This is an unrelated bat-themed superhero. It has nothing to do with the Warner Brothers intellectual property Batman. I think the poster's got to be ripped. Why do I keep going to the pencil instead of the pen? As much as I hate that this interferes with the butt chin, he's just got this ripped, raggedy-ass poster that he keeps on his wall. Give him gun? I wouldn't give Tim Pool the pleasure. I don't know how many of you saw that. Perhaps the greatest tweet of all time. But Tim Pool saying that if Thomas Wayne, Batman's father, fictional character Batman, if his father had a gun, then Bruce Wayne, who is the alter ego of the fictional character Batman, wouldn't have been traumatized, if you can believe it. And that's extremely funny for a lot of reasons. Chiefly that it's like, hey, Tim, how is it that your entire understanding of the world comes from comic books? I see the problem. Actually, Batman in the 1930s carries guns. Yeah, but then they changed it because it was boring. It's nice the guns make you immune to getting shot. It's like, it's wrong on every level, right? Because it's like, number one, this is a fictional character when there are real life people getting killed with guns all the time whose opinions you could solicit on the matter. Well, not the people who are killed, but like their loved ones. Number two, in the scenario you are imagining, Tim, there's now no Batman, so Gotham City is fucked. Number three, there is a comic where Thomas Wayne carries a gun and he becomes a complete fucking lunatic, murdering people and becoming a twisted, grim, evil version of Batman. Like, it's like, Tim, this is a story for 12-year-olds that you seem to have missed the point of, you know? It's like, if you're gonna like, there's so many stories where you could say, well, if this character had a gun, this wouldn't have happened, and the story would be better for it. I think if there's one story in particular where guns don't come off great, it would be Batman's origin story, because that instills in him a pathological aversion to guns. That's the whole thing, right? Is that the reason he has to do all the wacky shit he does is because he doesn't want to use guns. So he has to scare people by dressing like a spooky guy. It's all just a plot device, you know, to get him to be a spooky guy. Because the natural question is, why doesn't he just get a gun and shoot the people he doesn't like? Well, he doesn't like guns. He's afraid of them because they killed his daddy. Again, I understood this as a literal child. But also, like, the broader issue is, like, hey, don't reduce this to, like, being about comic book bullshit, Tim. Like, this, you know, that's so fucking insulting. I thought it was more about non-lethality. There's no such thing as non-lethality. A weapon cannot be non-lethal. A weapon can merely be less lethal. There's a great video where somebody makes all of the batarangs from all of the movies, and then they test which one is the best one, and like fucking all of them are incredibly dangerous and would kill anyone in real life. Like, you telling me you couldn't? You got a big bat-shaped disc with like blades on the end that you throw at people? Yeah, you could kill someone with that. That's lethal for sure. You might the fictional character has the skill to use it in such a way that nobody gets killed. It's still a lethal weapon. A baseball bat is a lethal weapon. The purpose of a boomerang is hunting? Yeah. Though I like a boomerang, I feel like you'd have a hard time killing somebody with it. Because, like, it's for hunting small game, right? Like rabbits and stuff, isn't it? Like, could you kill a person with a real boomerang? Captain Boomerang can, in the same world, but I'm talking about in our world. Earth 15. Still think about the time Tim interviewed Sam Cedar and tried to reference a bunch of Marvel movie stuff to make a point, and Sam was just like, I haven't seen those. Yeah. It's a boomerang with knives on it? Yeah, I'm talking about a real boomerang in real life. Like, because, like, if I went to a toy store and bought a boomerang, I would imagine that, like, a real one that, like, an actual Australian Aborigine, are they the people that use boomerangs? They probably used sharp ones. You know, they probably sharpened him up, but then, like, catching it, wouldn't it cut up your hand? Or did they just, like, have a technique where they could catch it without hurting their hand? Or did they not catch it, but it just came back so that they could retrieve it more easily? There were types of boomerangs made for war to knock people out? I mean, if you throw anything hard enough at someone's head, you could mess them up. Yeah. I think it's like a big wooden club that you throw, but it's not. It goes whoop, 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 and then it comes back to you. It has very specific qualities. Boomerangs that return are a novelty toy. Actual hunting boomerangs don't come back? Really? I heard that the term Aborigine is considered derogatory. Is it? I just thought I apologize if that's the case. I thought that it was the preferred term. It's supposed to stun game. All right, you know what? We have access to the collective knowledge of the human race. We don't have to guess. Boomerang. Wikipedia. A boomerang is a thrown tool typically constructed as a flat airfoil that is designed to spin about an axis perpendicular to the direction of its flight. A returning boomerang is designed to return to the thrower. It is a well-known weapon by some Aboriginal Australian peoples for hunting. Boomerangs have been historically used for hunting as well as sport and entertainment. They are commonly thought of as an Australian icon and come in various shapes and sizes. No one knows for sure how the returning boomerang was invented, but some modern boomerang makers speculate that it developed from the flattening throwing stick still used by the the Aboriginal Australian people. This uses the term that is, it's there on Wikipedia is all I'm saying. I'm not saying that that makes it right. I'm just saying I'm not going to read it aloud if it's considered not the right term. And for other indigenous peoples around the world, including the Navajo in North America. Hunting boomerang is delicately balanced and much harder to make than a returning one. The curving flight characteristic of returning boomerangs was probably first noticed by early hunters trying to tune their throwing sticks to fly straight. It is thought by some that the shape and elliptical flight pattern of the returning boomerang makes it useful for hunting birds and small animals, or that noise generated by the movement of the boomerang through the air or by a skilled thrower lightly clipping the leaves off a tree whose branches house birds would scare the birds towards the thrower. It is further supposed by some that it was used to frighten flocks or groups of birds into nets, that they were usually strung up between trees or thrown by hidden hunters. In southeastern Asia, it is claimed that boomerangs were made to hover over a flock of ducks. Mistaking it for a hawk, the ducks would then dive away towards hunters armed with nets or clubs. Okay. Okay, so there's just a bunch of different types of boomerang, and the ones that were used for hunting typically were different than the ones that come back. Although the ones that come back, like, had specific purposes, it seems like, is the answer. Now we know. We've learned about the boomerangs. Damn, people are smart. If I had to catch a duck, I'd just give up. No, no, no. You'd find a way. I believe in you. Kind of neat. So they are a hunting tool or a weapon. Yeah, it seems like it's just there's a variety of types of boomerang, and each one had a specific purpose. Rather than it just being like, 'cause it makes sense, right? Because like, if a boomerang hits something, it can't return. So it would be a very strange weapon. And now I want to learn about yo-yos. How could a yo-yo be used as a weapon? This I do not understand. That would be such an ineffective weapon. A yo-yo is a toy consisting of an axle connected to 2 discs, blah, blah, blah. Etymology and history. Boy playing with terracotta yo-yo in 440 BC. I don't think this was a weapon. There is no sound historical evidence that yo-yos were ever used as weapons. The notion that yo-yos were at one point used as weapons is believed to have been a marketing gimmick of sorts disseminated by Duncan yo-yo demonstrators in the early history of the company. Regardless, the notion that yo-yos can be used as weapons persists to this day. See, for example, the portrayal of yo-yos as weapons in the Chinese television series Blazing Teens. It was also a weapon in Kirby. Yeah, and in Terraria. Okay, so that answers that. I always thought that was a really weird idea. It's a weapon in the hands of a psychic 13-year-old. Almost anything could be a weapon in the hands of a psychic 13-year-old. Okay, I think that's going to do it for today. We got this page done. We'll start at a new page next time. Let's see who's online. Sophie's online. This is perfect. Sophie's online. This is an amazing opportunity for me to raid Sophie. If she is wrapping up, that's fine. People do that to me a lot. Thank you for coming. I will see you next time. And keep being yourselves. Get out there. Do the things you're afraid to suck at. Get up every day and follow. Just fucking.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
You know?
Make your dreams come true.
Make your dreams come true.
Just do
Don't let
it.
your dreams be dreams. Make your dreams come true. Do it. No excuses. Get out there.